Good morning and welcome to Three Questions With. We've got my buddy Laurence with us from Energy LB Resources. Laurence, good morning. How you been, bud?
Good morning, Kevin. I've been good, and I appreciate you doing these series of interviews, and it's good to catch up again.
So always good to see you, bud. I want to jump right in. So tell me what's unique about your approach towards energy efficiency.
So before I actually answer the question directly, let me just say, so what we are is an engineering company focused on energy efficiency in commercial industrial facilities. And what we do is design and deploy energy efficiency and what we call power optimization technologies so that operations run more efficiently. Your plant is leaner, you save money, obviously, less emissions, all those things. To answer the question, what is kind of unique about us is that we're not looking to replace your equipment or get you to operate it differently. You are the experts at running your plant. What we do is look at the actual resource, the electricity itself, or the water, glycol, or the chemicals, or in some cases, fuel oil, and we're looking at the resources themselves and what you're paying for your utility expenditure, and the distribution systems through which they flow. So starting with electric, which is a big focus area of ours, we're going to look at the electricity itself and make sure that the power supply to all your motors and chillers and loads and everything, transformers, is clean and stable and not distorted, because electricity, like any resource, gets messed up and gets dirty and gets, it fluctuates, and you can rectify that. There's a lot of money to be saved in that. It's a huge area of energy efficiency. So we look at the resources themselves and their distribution systems.
So Laurence, I've been seeing posts on Facebook and the news. Everyone's concerned about rising cost of energy. That obviously has a big impact on what you're doing, and maybe one of the reasons why people want to talk to you.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a very, very dynamic and I'll even say, crazy and confusing environment right now, for good and for bad, in the energy world. I mean, prices are going through the roof, certainly in New England. I mean, they've literally doubled without much exaggeration, and they will, they'll stabilize a little bit, but they'll continue to rise. They're not going to come back down. There's all the changes in the market because of distributed renewables. There's electric vehicles. There's obviously solar and wind are coming into their own. Battery storage is a new up and coming technology that's going to become more ubiquitous. So what I urge our customers to do, and I urge all of you, all our potential customers to do, is don't be afraid to begin to gather data. Don't be afraid to, all right, well, what are our priorities? What's the lowest hanging fruit? Where should we or can we improve? Where's your money going? And that's where we can come in and help, is that we have the instrumentation and the know-how and the experience. Like, all right, we will devise a plan with you. We will work with you. What's your priorities? What could be your priorities, whether it's operations, which is where we are, whether it's procurement, which goes in parallel to that, and getting better energy rate, lowering your expenditure. Don't be afraid to start exploring, start investing. Data is our friend. As much as sometimes it's intimidating, data is our friend, and it will guide us, and it will guide you, and we will work with you to do that.
So Laurence, are there certain industries that benefit more from this technology? Do you need to have a certain monthly spend for this to make sense? Anything like that?
We tend to look at bigger and larger, more diverse manufacturing settings, but in terms of a minimum spend, I mean, there's no hard red line, but at least $5,000 a month on electricity. That said, if you're having a particular challenge, like breakers are tripping or motors are burning out, even a relatively small operation can benefit from power quality improvements. I'll give an example. Working with a small sawmill near here, and they're not a huge operation. They're not a big global lumber provider by any stretch. But yeah, their voltage was all over the place. Their stability was awful in their network, and we're helping them clean it up. And their spend was maybe $4,000 a month, and so it depends. But the sky's the limit. Beyond going the other direction, yeah, the more magnitude and the more diversity of energy use and the more dynamic the operation, the more we have to offer and the more benefit we can provide.
I really liked your idea earlier. Why not sit down and talk about it? Okay, what's involved, and sometimes just thinking about the future, we're looking to expand. We're gonna, double manufacturing capacity. So, to me, that seems like the time to reach out to you saying, hey, we're about to bring in all this new equipment. Maybe we should talk to you first to make sure we bring it in efficient. Make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the company, the full company name is Energy LB Resources, and the word resources is there for a reason. You know, we're affectionately known as Energy LB. But we want to become an ongoing resource for our customers. We want to help them as they grow, help them to make decisions as they grow.
Yep.
You know, we're going to bring in this new equipment. We're going to add a new extruder line. We're working with a plastics factory, you know, recently. We're going to add this, or we're having problems with our capacity. Is it worth investing in new electrical infrastructure? Well, maybe we can get the capacity down so you can have more overhead, you know, or maybe you can't. And what's worth investing in? All those questions, it gets back to my point before, like you say, is data and information. It's a forensic exercise in some ways, and it involves operations. Obviously, it involves budget and the financial decisions, and they all come together in this nexus of how can we run our operations more leanly, more carefully, more based on decisions that are data centric.
Makes perfect sense. What's the best way for people to reach out to you, Laurence? How can they learn more?
The easiest way, I'll give my number. It's 603-275-7238. You can contact us there. contact@energylb.com. But go to the website, energylb.com. You know, obviously you can contact us through there. The contact information is there. The phone numbers are there. So energylb.com.
Laurence, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of the day to call in. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you, Kevin. Take care, all. Bye-bye.